Hello.
Hello,
Hello,
how are
can you
you?
hear me? Good, how are you?
I am well. How old are you?
I am 31 years old.
All right. So what are we talking about? Dating costs or two-thirds?
Say that second one.
Two over three. You know what I'm talking about if you meant it.
Honestly, so I'm just gonna be real. I just came in and I noticed, you up here and you were talking about dating. I don't know the levels or exactly what
Are you
realm
single or are you
of
married?
relationship. I am I am single.
Why does that take people so long? Y'all know if y'all married or not.
No, because I'm recently divorced, so I
Okay.
am I am single.
How long you been divorced?
Oh, we were literally just divorced in August.
How long were you married?
We were married for 6 months before he realized that he wanted to learn himself more.
Huh?
Yeah, so
Learn himself more? Okay. How long
yeah,
did you get? How old was he?
he was 36.
You guys have any children?
No children.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
So are you okay? How long were you together before you were married?
We were together for, how long? We were together for 2 months.
Okay. So you're together 2 months, and you got married
Yes.
in less than 6 months? Okay. And he wanted to learn himself. All right. So now what?
Well, now, I mean, I'm back on the market, but not necessarily in that way.
What do you mean not in that way?
Well, so for
Hmm.
me, relationship has always been about building friendship and really getting to know
We're not your friend.
the person, but
Let me
knowing.
stop. Let me stop you. I got hold on. One of the biggest mistakes we make, and I make too. Guys, stop trying to be these women's friends. We're not your effing friends. We're your men. We're not your friends. We're not your friends. And we were raised to think this shit, and it destroys attraction. You're friends with your homegirls. You can be cordial and you can be cool with your man, but we're not your friend. We should be walking down the street laughing and cracking jokes. That's for your girlfriends. I have to keep making that point because we keep saying this and it ruins relationships. We're not your friends. So if a relationship isn't about being friends, then what is it about?
It's definitely about building a legacy. There's that there's that thing that in this day and age, a lot of people are getting into relationships with no plan, and so
Okay.
that was one of the things that came up, that I was able to, because I'm a product of my parents being married for 38 years. They built this. They came together knowing what they ideally
How
wanted
old are
in a
you again?
partnership. I'm
How old,
31.
so if you want to build a legacy, do you want children?
Definitely.
Okay, then I'm curious, how did you guys get married in 2 months and not
Oh,
suss all this stuff
easy.
out?
20 2020, a lot of people are into, it's all about business and I got to make this money before I do this. And that was one of those things where for me, I'm like, I'm ready to have, the children. We can, they're
I don't
the
understand.
idea that
I
we
don't
have to
understand. I
keep
don't. Oh,
doing this.
stop. 2020, people all about the money. I just want to know specifically about y'all. How'd you get married in 2 months and y'all ain't been together for a year and he gone? And you talk about plans and legacy. How'd all those important questions not get asked?
They did, but the answers were not true, um, later on. And so, one person that I met later on, he's discovering that he's not that person, and that a lot
Ma'am,
of
I'm
the
talking
things that
about
he
your
was
husband.
right. And this this is who I'm talking about. Um, what was given in the beginning was, the questions that were asked, they didn't carry weight through the actions.
What question?
What your plans are for children? Do you want to have children? What
Hmm. You asked him this?
Asking those questions of
You
what
asked
is the
him that?
plan for you to
Hold on,
even
hold on.
meet?
I'm saying you asked him this stuff?
Yeah, these were questions that I asked.
You asked him if he wanted to have children. What did he say?
Lots of them. But then more realistically, he said 5.
And how much money was he making?
$60,000. Around
And
that.
you had the question, and a 31-year-old woman, you think you can have 5 children with a man making $60,000?
I personally don't think so.
Okay,
That
so
would be
that's a
realistic,
disconnect.
no.
Okay, so see, this is where it tends to go awry because people will hear this story and they'll automatically go to jump to the guy. And I'm trying to understand why a woman who's talking about legacy and family and planning, who comes from a 38-year marriage, and parent marriage, how you didn't get these questions realistically answered, because it really shouldn't fall apart in less than a year. You can't have 5 kids with a man making $60,000. So if you believe that, that's on you.
Right.
Was he married before?
No.
No children.
No children.
So why do he need to go find himself?
That's a really good question.
He didn't ask?
This is something that was asked in more ways, literally and
Who filed for divorce?
figured. He did.
Okay. He filed for divorce. Okay. Well, going forward, how many kids would you like to have?
3.
Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're married?
Say what?
Do you want to
I
have to work to
definitely,
pay
I
significant bills after
definitely
you're? Do you want
more
to work? Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant with the first child in your marriage?
definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not.
What state do you live in?
Connecticut.
What percentage of the family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for an entire lifetime?
30%.
30%. Then how are you not going to work?
Will be my wellness center that would be making the money.
No. See, what I'm showing you guys, a big part of the reason relationships fail is because women don't ask the right questions,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not serious. Then you go off your freaking feelings and dreams, and when it all falls apart, everybody wants to blame the man. Man, things that I've asked you don't even make sense. You don't want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant, yet you want to be responsible for 30% of the family financial load for a lifetime. See, we don't think seriously about relationships in our community. We think in terms of movies and feelings.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I definitely
And unfortunately, you ladies have to know it before we do, because you have a limited amount of time before nature takes options away. You don't have time to waste. So you must be deadly serious about mating, dating. There's no games, there's no fantasies, there's no potential. It's hardcore proof. You're betting your very womb. Now, if you had gone into dating this guy with that level of seriousness, do you think you would have married him?
definitely not.
That's what needs to be the takeaway. Whether he needs to find himself or not, you on your side did not ask the relevant, important questions for a lifetime that needs to be asked of a mate. This is where women have to start be holding each other accountable instead of saying these men are trash, these men are this, these men. No, just like I get on guys who are saying I'm not going out to dinner with nobody and I'm not paying for dates because these women out here. No, you have to ask the right questions. So going forward, who's going to help you vet the kind of man you would like to marry?
I have my confidants. But yeah, I definitely have a lot
Are
to
your
think about.
confidants female?
Yes, and a
Then they
male.
can't. No, your confidants are your. Why not your father?
This is a good point. This is
But
a good
why? But why not?
I would love that to be. I personally would love that to be.
What's the holdup then?
We've had conversations and they're pretty much based on just one's religious standpoint and very disconnected. Not
What do
having
you mean?
that
What do you,
not
what do you
having
mean
that type of,
disconnected? What do you mean disconnected?
well, there isn't a um there's a lot of, what is that, the lack of confidence in one's own personal experience that
I don't make
when
it
we
make
have that
sense, man. I
conversation.
don't know. You talk to me like I'm four or a cocker spaniel.
No, he doesn't have he doesn't have the capacity right now. He's not at the capacity right now where he's actually been able to connect with me. It's just more of,
Your father?
you'll figure it out on your
Your
own. Like,
father?
yeah.
Your father? How did he raise you?
By
See, what tends to happen, ma'am, is you ladies tend to look at your fathers and you don't ask them until you fuck up. Then you blame the father for not being able to communicate like Dr. fucking Phil. He gave you a 38-year marriage to model after, but it doesn't make you tingle or get you moist. Your confidants, no disrespect, they didn't raise you in the 38-year marriage. Go pick what your mama got. How about that?
You said don't pick.
I said, go pick what your mama got. What's wrong with that?
I think that would have to be more of a personal conversation that you and I would have to have for you to get
No,
more
not
insight
really.
into
You
that.
said no, not really.
That's
Because
also,
let me tell you why. Let me tell you why not. Because I'm going to use you coming in saying I believe in legacy and I'm the product of a 38-year marriage. You can't go undercut that credibility just because of expediency. Go get what your mama got. You used it for validation earlier. See what I mean? We can still, you modern women can look at a working relationship, a working situation, and still want to go pick what you like. And you guys don't know how to pick men. You pick based upon things that are irrelevant. They're all feelings based. When I say go pick what your mama got, you said there's a 38-year marriage and legacy and this and that, then apparently it works. But when you judge your mother and father's relationship, stay in the child's place. Stop trying to judge it like you her husband. I mean, like you his wife, you his child. That's what everybody else does.
I also see that people do pick and choose based on the outer appearance. So, one would say, "Oh, I want a
People,
38-year marriage,"
people,
and then they
people,
look at,
people, people,
and
people,
then me
people,
specifically,
people, men or
right?
women?
But me
Men,
specifically.
people, hold on. When you say people, do you mean men or women?
So, in my personal experience, is more so women.
Women
Just
pick based on
where
the
I'm
outer
coming from.
experience.
Yeah,
Women
and so
pick
for
based on the
me,
outer experience, on the outer appearance.
as far as like, relationship goals, so now speaking on my personal experience, I know for me, when it comes to looking at what I ideally want on the outside, it's also me having to consider what's actually taking place behind closed doors. So wanting a 38-year marriage, how that looks, or even based on why, like the question that I would have as to why that marriage has lasted that long, for my from my experience, and even when I asked my mother, it's because, one, it's based on their religious beliefs. We don't believe in marriage. I mean, we don't believe in divorce. We don't believe in marrying someone and then getting a divorce,
Okay,
regardless of
stop,
whatever
stop, stop right
happens.
here.
They marry.
Women shouldn't be picking men based on how they look. That's what y'all get picked on. You don't pick a man based on his look. You pick a man based on his character and ability to provide and protect. If he's attractive or cute, that's just a bonus. What's going on behind the 38-year marriage? you're all out of alignment. You need to be on your man's program instead of you're trying to lead. And you're talking to your mom, were they Christian?
They are, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Then why aren't your beliefs the same as theirs? Because I'm a modern Christian.
Well, they are, but it seems like there's more.
There's
There's
not
more
more. No, no, no,
context.
no, there's not. 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 You modern Christian women are out of alignment with everything in the Bible. You want to be modern women and Christians at the same time. It doesn't work. It was simpler back when your mama and your grandma and your great-grandma, because they weren't trying to pick based upon all these other things. They were picking a man based upon, I need to have a husband, because I need to have a family, because a man is required, because they were traditional women. Traditional women, men are not optional. You could not get to be 30 plus years old and not have a man in your life as a traditional woman. A man is a requirement. God, religion, those kind of things are further meant to submit for human frailties and fleeting things like women. Women, y'all pick on emotions. So we can have modern Christians, but you're not picking like Christians.
That's another thing. That's also that's another statement. When you say you're not picking on, I didn't necessarily. Well, no, I didn't pick. I was chosen, and I said yes out with those beliefs that one, this is someone who's a provider, who's a protector. I'm saying yes to him.
Did he choose? He chose you. Did he ask your father for your hand in marriage?
He asked for my father's hand in marriage. He asked
and your
me
father
for
accepted. Your father. Hold on.
My
He
father
asked
said yes.
your father, and after 2 months.
Yeah.
And
my father was also a pastor at that.
Yeah. So now he needs to go find himself.
Yeah.
So before, hold on. Y'all always get to the other part. I would say the other part. Before this man, was this the first man you've ever had a serious relationship with?
No, not that. No. That's just the first man that I've ever married. But as far as serious relationship,
okay, all right. How long was your longest relationship before your husband?
3 years.
How come y'all didn't get married?
He was dealing with his ex-wife, and he felt like it was too much for him to.
Why were you dealing with a man that was involved with his?
That I didn't discover until 2 years later.
You didn't discover he was dealing with. You didn't discover he was formerly married?
No, I mean, I knew he was formally married, but when I say dealing with, it was literally 2 years later that his ex-wife started taking him to court for child support.
But y'all were together for 3 years. Y'all should see. Everything I hear is it's outside of you. 3 years, and I found out 2 years into a 3-year relationship, his ex-wife. No. And this is one of the major problems with modern women: lack of accountability. I got chosen. Yeah, you got a chance to pick. How are you asking these questions? Every time I ask a question, it's somewhere else. My daddy didn't cover me. I didn't have this. I was with that. Man, you pick. You picked your last 3-year relationship. And why are you in some place 3 years? And as soon as you start seeing baby mama or ex-wife stuff, why didn't you leave? Because I was in love.
Oh no, I definitely left.
Okay, so I'm gonna say no. After 3 years, at 31, man, this is a lot of trauma. It's a lot of trauma. And my ultimate point is, right, wrong, or indifferent, women are not meant to date multiple men and go through this amount of relational trauma. Okay. But if y'all are going to live this modern world where you're in charge of your mate selection, then y'all going to have to figure out how to fix it, because here's the problem. You're 31 years old right now, and right, wrong, or indifferent, however you got here, you have that level of trauma on you. What happens when you run into the next man? Because he shouldn't have to pay for any of this stuff. And unless you fully address this and it's all dead, buried, and moved on, so this is part of this whole modern dating thing. So I say dating is dumb. It doesn't work, especially when women are in charge of picking men. You pick poorly. If you don't have good, solid relationships with fathers, and you don't trust the father who's picking for you because has your father presented men to you to date?
Hmm.
Has he?
Yeah,
And
Jonathan
did
Reynolds.
and did you turn him? And how long did you guys date?
Well, Jonathan Reynolds, I've never like he introduced me through his
Uh
music and
huh.
said, "This is who I want you to marry." But I
Okay,
don't
okay. You didn't meet him?
know. Jonathan Reynolds is a famous singer.
Okay, I don't. I'm just asking. I asked you, did your father? I asked the question: has your father introduced men for you to date?
No,
So your father isn't. So even when you were younger, your father wasn't looking to help you find a husband.
no.
Did you ask?
I did. I did, and he
What was
told me
the
that I
answer?
don't. He said, "You just need to date me." And of course, that got old after a while. But
Okay.
he never actually. No,
All right. All right. So, you have any siblings?
I do.
Sisters?
Three sisters older than me, and then I
Are
have
they
my
are
brother.
they all married?
My oldest sister is.
And the other two aren't?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen this before. I've seen this before. Where fathers are pastors and they keep their daughters as sister wives. Yeah, I've had several sessions with women like this. Now it's starting to make sense. Now it's starting to make sense. Do y'all all still, you just unmarried sisters? Do y'all all live in the same city?
No, my older sisters, they live in another state.
You're unmarried sisters.
Yeah, they live in another state.
Okay. And they're all older than you.
Hmm.
And none are married.
No.
And if I ask them about, and if you ask, did dad help you guys with this? Finding a man, they'd say what?
I don't know what they would say, only because they weren't really, they were outside of, so it wasn't, I don't know their relationship. I didn't
You
really,
mean they were
we
out,
weren't
they were,
raised in
okay,
a house
okay,
together.
hold on. Were they your mother's children?
My father's.
Okay. When I, okay. Do you have any sisters that were from your mother and father?
No, actually, I'm the first from my father.
All right. That's why I say the modern church is failing relationships. I've seen this very often. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be a lot of positives except for therapy, man. Therapy, I would say, like it or not, your father, um, he's a pastor, and he has not been shepherding you or teaching you or helping you. All right. Uh, now I get it. After asking that question, marry me. And when I tell you guys, I've seen this a lot over the last year,
Hmm.
especially here in the South. Um, you're going to have to end up stepping away. I would say get some counseling and therapy because there's a lot of trauma you've dealt with here. Uh, the prognosis isn't good though because you don't have anybody to thoroughly help you kind of step through this. But understanding what it is you want out of a life and a kind of lifestyle you want
Hmm.
may put you in a better mindset of learning how to be able to uh, to attract the kind of man you want. But this is chaos. So I'm gonna leave it right here.
And guys, that brings us to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching. More respect on the legend Kevin Samuels. Let's give this man his flowers for whatever he did when it comes to having these type of conversation with these women. I think he was great. He was fantastic with the way he delivered his message across, asking questions, getting to the shit that they don't really want to bring out in throughout the conversations. I think it's wonderful, and I think we have to give him credit for that. So big ups to him, and we have to protect this message. We have to make sure that this message keep running. We keep reviewing it so that people will learn so much watching his content. Now, talking about this lady right here, it's quite obvious that she neglected herself because there was the model in front of her, and she chose to not take it, right? But there is one thing that caught my attention when Kevin Samuels asked her, did she ask her mom why they were able, how they were able to do it, the 38-year-old marriage? And she said something like the mom said, oh, because of their religion, and in their religion, that is Christianity, they don't believe in divorce. So that was something the mom tried to say, and Kevin Samuel cut her off. I think he should have been able to dig deep, because if your kid happened to come to you, right, and ask you why you were able to get married to your husband and stayed with him for 38 years, and the only answer you got for her is, oh, because of our religion don't believe in divorce and all that, means probably like you just endure her dad. That's basically what you're saying, right? Instead of her to give her reasons, positive things that probably kept you together, you said, oh, it's because of our religion. And to a modern woman, she will kind of say that, so it means my mom has to endure my dad. So I'm not willing to do that, right? But had it been that this woman sat her down, told her about relationships and marriage, and it's not about always being happy, right? It's about duties. If this woman has sat this young woman down and explained these things to her in this manner, I don't think she would have ended up in the position she has ended up, right? So, in as much as we can say she neglected herself, but I think there is some warped information the mom gave to this young lady, which is, we don't believe in divorce in our religion. So whether or not things are going well, what you basically told her indirectly is, whether or not things are going well or not, you have to endure each other. So she was kind of, okay, will I want to endure? Because modern women do not understand that marriage itself is about enduring each other, going through certain things that are not pleasant, generally speaking, and just sticking together and hashing it out, making sure that it works, making sure that the family unit is kept together. They don't understand it that way. They think of marriage in a very fanciful way. So when you say that it's because of we are Christians and we don't believe in divorce, getting married to someone and divorcing the person later, then you basically telling that modern woman that don't have proper knowledge about marriages. Marriage, you just have to suffer, right? Someone, even if you want to tell her that, you have to explain to her that marriage, there is no way you can just get married and stay happy forever. That's not how it goes. Even you and your parents, you can't stay happy forever. That's not how it goes. Human beings, we are bonded with these things, problems day in and day out, getting annoyed with one another, and later on becoming, hashing it out and just enjoying the moment again. But women kind of think that if I'm with a man and there is some point that like I'll just not feel happy, then it means he's not the right man for me. The right man for me has to always make me happy. I should just always be happy, which is not true. That's a fanciful way of thinking of marriage. So I think Kevin Samuel should have been able to dig deep. There would have been so much information that she would have brought out from the questions she asked her mom and the answers she got. But I just think there was something, and part of it being you telling her you just did it because of you just had to stay with each other. And if it is that you want to explain that to her, just explain to her directly. Marriage is not about staying happy. So regardless of what happened between me and your dad, we just always understand that, okay, marriage, we just have to stay together so that you guys will get the best lifestyle that you probably want. That's just my thought. Guys, that brings us to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, like and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.